If you can get these 3 steps right, then you can nail any accent you want. Whether you're neutralizing your accent for clarity or mimicking a specific one to keep your customers from demanding for a native speaker over the phone, then these 3 steps will help you. In this video, I'm going to take my 4 years of experience as a call center agent and condense it into a 3-step plan that I would follow if I were a call center agent, a non-native speaker, trying to improve my accent for a call center job. Listening was how each and every one of us learned our mother tongue. So to learn another language, it only makes sense that we also should start by listening. And I'm not just talking about passively listening. I'm talking about listening with intention. Pay attention to the phonetics and pronunciation.
It was such a horrible sensation that each itch made me cry.
Each itch?
Each itch made me cry.
What's the difference?
Each, itch, itch.
Oh, okay. So each itch, not each itch, but each itch. To the pitch.
Hi, can I ask for a glass of water, please? Hi, can I ask for a glass of water, please?
Intonation.
We have 1 room available today. I'm just wondering if you'd be interested in that. We have 1 room available today. I'm just wondering if you'd be interested in that.
Stress.
He's a criminal lawyer. He's a criminal lawyer.
Rhythm.
Let me get a Coke, 1 lemonade, 1 large burger, 1 large pizza, and a salad.
And tempo.
I told you I don't want to talk about it. It's so embarrassing. Just get it out of my sight right now.
Here's how to listen productively. First, you got to decide on a target accent. What's the specific accent that you want to learn? In my case, I decided to learn the general American English because our customers were in the US and Canada. American and Canadian customers understand that accent well. So that was, for me, the main goal, to be understood. So now, once you've decided on a target accent, it's time to listen to casual conversations. Why casual and why conversations? Conversations because they'll allow you to hear the sound patterns in bigger units. And by bigger units, I don't mean per syllable, not per word, like we learned in school, but in phrases and sentences. And the benefit of hearing the sound patterns in phrases and sentences is that you gain a deeper understanding of how the sounds interact with one another in a connected speech. And connected speech is what we're after for here. We don't converse in syllables. We might converse in single word conversations, but pretty soon we're going to need phrases and sentences to express more complex thoughts and ideas. And casual, because that's pretty much the type of conversations that you're going to be having with your customers on a daily basis.
This is Candace. How may I help you?
Yes, I'm trying to get into my account because I have a $20 credit I would like to use, and it won't let me get into it because I don't know my password, and I've tried to email for a password to be sent to me, and it will not work.
Oh, that's fine. I can reset the password for you. Can I have
Thank
your
you.
email address?
Just listen to everyday casual conversations. I'm talking about YouTube videos, podcasts, or movies because they usually reflect the daily conversations of normal people. But note that listening is useless without step 2, and that is mimicking. While listening commits the sound to your memory and to your ears, mimicking commits the sound to your speech organs, namely the tongue, lips, teeth, vocal cords, and every single part of you responsible for speech.
You constantly feel the need to put down my husband.
Why do you constantly feel the need to put down my husband? Husband. Husband?
Put down my husband.
My husband.
Oh, I'm sure he does it out of love.
Oh, I'm sure he does it out of love. Oh, I'm sure he does it out of love.
Same way my boyfriend makes me feel terrible about my life choices.
The same way my boyfriend makes me feel terrible about my life choices. Now that I don't work in a call center anymore and it's not necessary to speak the standard American English, I am freely speaking English with a Bisaya accent.
What are we gonna plant there in the first garden then? What you think? Something we eat every day. Do they like sun? Because it's under the full sun. No. Maybe in the website of what was that? Agriculture, Department of Agriculture. See what is best to plant. I would really like to have some tomatoes too, but
My tongue gets lazier and lazier. So every time I start a video like this, I have to do some sort of exercise to stretch out my tongue and get used to the sounds again. Sometimes it could take me 30 minutes to get back to it, and it's still not perfect. But my point is, the tongue, like your brain, has a memory of its own. Mimicking on top of listening just helps you develop that flexibility of the tongue. So when you need to access the sound, you're going to be able to do it more naturally. You're strengthening the muscles responsible for those sounds. How to mimic productively? To do that, you're just going to have to exaggerate what you hear. What you pay attention to when listening, you have to execute when mimicking.
Who does actually look like Thor's trainer.
He does actually look like Thor's trainer. He does actually look like like Thor's trainer. He does actually look like Thor's trainer.
Who does actually look like Thor's trainer, staring at me.
Staring at me.
And I'm like, oh God, am I doing something wrong? And in the
Oh God, am I doing something wrong? Oh God, am I doing something wrong? With mimicking on top of listening, you would already get far, but it's not enough. There is step 3, and that is record yourself. Yes, I'm talking about using the recorder of your phone to record yourself while you're mimicking the sounds. And this is to have an accurate confirmation whether or not you're pronouncing the words right. You would not believe how huge of a difference this could make. Case in point, when I was starting this YouTube channel, I thought that I already had a pretty decent accent, mimicking the general American English, but it turned out that I still had a lot to improve. I was butchering the vowels. There were sounds that I thought I was pronouncing correctly, but when I heard the recording, I actually wasn't. My challenges have always been the vowels that are in American English, but are not in Bisaya. For example, the short I would come off as E. So instead of it becomes E. So instead of video, it becomes video. Sounds similar, but there's a noticeable difference. Video, video. The schwa sound would sometimes sound as ah or o. About would become about. About, about. Connect would become connect. Connect, connect. And these are not the only sounds that I was struggling with. And even now, I still get these wrong every time I don't fully focus on my accent. The recorder is not going to lie to you. The recording just gives you an unbiased reflection of your actual pronunciation. If you're brave enough, you got to do it. At first, you will cringe at the sound of your own voice, but you will get used to it. So to summarize, step 1 is to listen, to recognize and get acquainted with the sound patterns. Step 2 is to mimic, to train your tongue. And step 3 is to record and compare to make sure that what you say matches what you hear. But all these 3 steps are going to be utterly useless without this one thing, and that is consistency. If you do this on day 1, day 2, day 3, but don't follow through on day 4 and so on, then it's not going to do anything for you. I think this is the hardest part of it, really. You know the steps, but you're not executing them because you're doing other things. Like with any skills, learning an accent, mastering a language takes time, effort, and consistency. You're not going to be able to learn everything in one go. That's just not how it works. And so let me add a step 4, and that is be consistent.